Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. Your heart pounds, frustration rises, and stress takes over. But what if you could stay calm, completely unfazed, no matter the chaos around you? The secret lies in an ancient philosophy that has stood the test of time, Stoicism. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to Wisdom Legends for timeless insights that can transform your life. Now, let's explore how the Stoic mindset can help you master stress and regain control over your emotions. 1. Control what you can. Ignore what you can't. One of the biggest sources of stress is trying to control the uncontrollable. We get frustrated when plans change, when people don't act the way we expect, or when unexpected problems arise. But Stoicism teaches us that there are 2 types of things in life. Things within our control, our thoughts, actions, and choices. Things outside our control, other people's opinions, the economy, the weather, or even traffic. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. How this helps with stress. When you focus on what's within your power, you stop wasting energy on things you can't change. Instead of getting stressed about external problems, you shift your attention to how you respond. This mental shift is incredibly freeing because it stops you from feeling helpless. Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark when stuck in traffic. Instead of getting frustrated, listen to a podcast or practice deep breathing, because the traffic isn't in your control, but your reaction is. White heavy checkmark when facing criticism. If it's constructive, learn from it. If it's just negativity, ignore it. You can't control what others say, only how you respond. White heavy checkmark when plans change. Instead of resisting reality, adapt. Tell yourself, this is out of my hands, so I'll focus on my next best move. By mastering this principle, you'll find yourself calmer, more focused, and far less stressed, because you've stopped fighting battles you can never win. 2. Perception is everything. Stress is often not caused by events themselves, but by how we interpret them. In other words, it's not what happens to you, but how you think about it that matters. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, put it this way: people are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. 2 people can experience the exact same event. One remains calm, while the other spirals into stress. Why? Because their perception of the situation is different. How this helps with stress. Your mind is like a lens. If you see everything as a disaster, life will feel overwhelming. But if you train yourself to see challenges as temporary and manageable, your stress levels drop dramatically. For example, automobile, you're stuck in traffic. You can think, this is ruining my day. Or you can reframe it as, this is extra time to listen to a good podcast. Briefcase, you get critical feedback at work. Instead of feeling attacked, think, this is a chance to improve and grow. Cloud with lightning and rain, it starts raining during your outdoor event. Instead of frustration, see it as nature doing its thing. I can still make the most of it. Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark pause before reacting. When something stressful happens, stop and ask yourself, is my reaction making this worse? White heavy checkmark reframe problems as challenges. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Ask, how can I learn from this? White heavy checkmark use the will this matter rule. Ask yourself, will this still bother me in a week, a month, a year? Most of the time, the answer is no. By changing your perception, you take control of your stress instead of letting it control you. 3. Practice voluntary discomfort. One of the biggest reasons stress overwhelms us is because we are too comfortable in our daily lives. The moment something unexpected happens, a financial setback, a missed opportunity, or an uncomfortable situation, we panic. Why? Because we haven't trained our minds to handle discomfort. This is why Stoics deliberately practiced hardship, even when they didn't need to. Seneca, a wealthy philosopher, would sleep on the floor and eat simple food for days at a time, just to remind himself that he could survive with less. How this helps with stress? By exposing yourself to small, controlled discomforts, you train your mind to stay calm under pressure. You develop resilience, making everyday stressors feel insignificant. For example, Fire, you take cold showers. Your body learns to tolerate discomfort, so future stress feels easier. Green salad, you skip a meal intentionally. Hunger no longer stresses you out, making you mentally stronger in difficult situations. No mobile phones, you go a day without your phone. You prove to yourself that you don't need constant distractions to function. Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark, skip luxury occasionally. Sleep on the floor for a night. Eat simple food, or take a break from social media. White heavy checkmark, expose yourself to controlled stress. Exercise intensely. Take a cold shower, or wake up earlier than usual. White heavy checkmark, embrace minor inconveniences. Next time you're waiting in a long line or dealing with bad weather, don't complain. Use it as mental training. When you get comfortable with discomfort, everyday stress loses its power over you. You realize that you are stronger than your temporary struggles, and nothing can truly shake you. 4. Embrace the present moment. Most stress comes from worrying about the future or regretting the past. We replay past mistakes in our minds or obsess over what might go wrong. But Stoicism teaches us that the only thing we truly own is the present moment. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, confine yourself to the present. How this helps with stress. When you focus on the present, you stop imagining worst-case scenarios or dwelling on things you can't change. You give your mind a break from unnecessary suffering. For example, hourglass, not done, you're worried about a deadline. Instead of stressing over the outcome, focus on what you can do right now. Thought balloon, you regret a mistake from the past. Instead of replaying it endlessly, ask yourself, what did I learn from this? And move forward. Anxious face with sweat, you're anxious about an upcoming event. Instead of overthinking, remind yourself, I'll deal with it when it comes. Right now, I am fine. Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark, use the right now technique. Whenever you feel stressed, pause and say, right now, I am safe. Right now, I am okay. White heavy checkmark, practice mindful breathing. When your mind races, focus on your breath for a minute. This anchors you in the present. White heavy checkmark, do one thing at a time. Multitasking increases stress. Instead, focus on one task with full attention. By learning to stay present, you free yourself from unnecessary mental suffering and approach life with a clear, focused mind. 5. View obstacles as opportunities. Life is full of obstacles, but what if every challenge was actually a chance to grow? This is the Stoic mindset. Instead of seeing setbacks as problems, they saw them as stepping stones. Marcus Aurelius famously said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. How this helps with stress. Most people let stress control them when they face difficulties. But Stoics embrace challenges because they believed every obstacle had hidden benefits. For example, briefcase, you get rejected from a job. Instead of stressing, think, this is pushing me toward a better opportunity. Broken heart, you experience heartbreak. Instead of feeling defeated, think, this is a chance to build emotional strength. Trophy, you face failure in a project. Instead of giving up, ask, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark, ask yourself, what can I learn from this challenge? White heavy checkmark, rewrite the story. Instead of seeing failure as an end, view it as a necessary step toward success. White heavy checkmark, use the good rule. When faced with a problem, say good, because it's an opportunity to improve. Once you start seeing obstacles as opportunities, stress stops feeling like an enemy and becomes a teacher instead. 6. Detach from emotional reactions. One of the biggest sources of stress is reacting emotionally to situations instead of responding logically. When something goes wrong, our first instinct is to panic, get angry, or feel overwhelmed. But Stoicism teaches that we don't have to be slaves to our emotions. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. How this helps with stress. By learning to step back from emotional reactions, you avoid unnecessary suffering. You train yourself to pause, analyze, and respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. For example, fire, someone insults you. Instead of snapping back, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Money bag, you lose money on a bad decision. Instead of stressing, tell yourself, this is a lesson. Next time, I'll be smarter. Hourglass not done you face an unexpected delay. Instead of getting frustrated, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this moment is temporary. Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark, pause before reacting. When something upsets you, take a deep breath and count to 5 before responding. White heavy checkmark, ask yourself, will this matter in a month? In a year? White heavy checkmark, write down your feelings. Journaling helps you process emotions rationally instead of reacting impulsively. By detaching from immediate emotional responses, you gain control over your mind, and stress loses its grip on you. 7. Remember, you will die, memento mori. This might sound dark, but one of the most powerful Stoic practices is memento mori. Latin for, remember you must die. Instead of fearing death, Stoics use this reminder to stop stressing over small things and focus on what truly matters. As Seneca said, you are dying every day. Live accordingly. How this helps with stress. Most of our stress comes from treating minor problems as life or death situations. But when you remind yourself that life is short, you gain perspective. Try decreasing. You made a mistake at work. In the grand scheme of life, does it really matter? Man gesturing, know someone was rude to you. Will their opinion matter on your deathbed? Stop sign, you're afraid to take a risk. If today were your last day, wouldn't you rather have tried? Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark, use perspective thinking. When you feel stressed, ask yourself, if I only had a year left to live, would this bother me? White heavy checkmark, live with purpose. Focus on what truly matters. Spending time with loved ones, learning, and growing. White heavy checkmark, keep a memento mori reminder. Some Stoics carried a small skull or coin with memento mori engraved to stay mindful of life's shortness. By embracing memento mori, you let go of unnecessary stress and live each day with greater clarity and peace. 8. Practice gratitude daily. One of the simplest yet most powerful tools for managing stress is gratitude. It's easy to focus on what's wrong in your life, but Stoics remind us to shift our attention to what's going well, no matter how small. As Marcus Aurelius said, the greatest wealth is to live content with little. How this helps with stress. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, stress melts away. Gratitude trains your mind to see opportunities instead of obstacles, blessings instead of burdens. For example, sunrise, you wake up in the morning. Instead of thinking about your to-do list, think, I'm thankful for another day to make a difference. Light bulb, you face a challenge at work. Instead of stressing, think, I'm grateful for the chance to grow and learn. Deciduous tree, you go for a walk outside. Instead of feeling rushed, think, I'm thankful for nature's beauty. Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark, gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're grateful for every day, no matter how small. White heavy checkmark, morning gratitude practice. As soon as you wake up, spend a few moments thinking about the things you're thankful for. White heavy checkmark, shift your focus. In stressful situations, ask yourself, what is there to be thankful for right now? By focusing on gratitude, you change your perspective, and stress becomes less of a burden and more of a passing challenge. 9. Let go of attachments. Another major source of stress is attachment to things, people, or outcomes. We get stressed when things don't go as planned or when we cling too tightly to a specific outcome. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from letting go of attachments. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. How this helps with stress. When you let go of attachments, you stop depending on external things for your happiness or peace of mind. You realize that happiness comes from within, not from what you possess or who you surround yourself with. For example, broken heart, you lose a relationship. Instead of stressing, you think, I am grateful for the time we shared, and now I will grow. Money with wings, you face financial loss. Instead of panicking, you tell yourself, I'll rebuild, and my worth isn't tied to money. Stop sign, you face failure in a project. Instead of obsessing over it, remind yourself, I gave it my best effort, and I can move forward. Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark, detach from outcomes. Focus on the process, not the result. Don't tie your happiness to any single outcome. White heavy checkmark, let go of possessions. Regularly declutter your home or personal space as a reminder that your worth isn't in things. White heavy checkmark, accept change. Embrace the idea that nothing lasts forever. Every phase of life has its own season. By letting go of attachments, you stop stressing over things that are beyond your control and learn to find peace in the flow of life. 10. Focus on what you can control. One of the core Stoic teachings is that stress often arises from focusing on things beyond our control. The Stoics believed that our energy should be spent only on things we can influence. Everything else is a waste of emotional investment. As Epictetus wisely put it, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. How this helps with stress. When you focus only on the things you can control, you stop wasting energy on worrying about things you can't change. This allows you to take action on what truly matters, reducing stress and increasing peace of mind. For example, automobile, your car breaks down. You can't control the breakdown, but you can control how you respond. Stay calm and take the necessary steps to fix the problem. Laptop, computer, a project at work goes wrong. You can't control everything about it, but you can control how much effort you put into correcting the situation. Speaking head, someone speaks harshly to you. You can't control their words, but you can control your response. Choose to stay calm and not take it personally. Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark, make 2 lists. Write down everything stressing you out. Divide it into things you can control and things you can't. Focus only on the first list. White heavy checkmark, let go of what you can't control. Acknowledge what you cannot change, and intentionally release your attachment to it. White heavy checkmark, change your focus. When something stressful happens, ask yourself, what can I control here? And focus on that. By focusing on what you can control and letting go of the rest, you gain freedom from unnecessary stress and regain a sense of personal power. 11. Accept and prepare for adversity. Premeditatio malorum. The Stoics believed in preparing for life's difficulties before they happen, not by fearing them, but by accepting that adversity is part of life. This practice is called premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils. As Seneca wrote, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. How this helps with stress. When you mentally prepare for challenges, you stop being surprised or devastated when they occur. You approach life's problems with a calm and confident mindset, knowing you are ready. For example, briefcase, you have a big presentation coming up. Rather than worrying about failure, prepare for potential setbacks. If I get nervous, it's okay. I'll manage it. Family, man, woman, girl, boy, you're going through a family dispute. Instead of stressing, remind yourself, family challenges are part of life. I can handle this with patience and understanding. Hourglass, not done, you face time constraints. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, think, I've been in busy situations before. I'll do my best, and let go of perfectionism. Practical tips to apply this. White heavy checkmark, visualize obstacles. Spend a few minutes each day imagining challenges you might face. Picture how you would respond calmly. White heavy checkmark, practice acceptance. Regularly remind yourself that life is full of ups and downs. Prepare mentally for both good and bad moments. White heavy checkmark, rehearse responses. For situations that cause you stress, mentally rehearse how you want to respond, calmly, logically, and with clarity. By accepting and preparing for adversity in advance, you become less afraid of challenges and more resilient when they arise.